In the shadowed streets of ancient Rome, along the winding path of the Via Ostiense, a story of unwavering faith and courageous sacrifice unfolds. Saints Felix and Adauto, humble servants of God and fearless martyrs, stood firm in their devotion even as the world around them threatened to silence their voices forever. Their lives may not be as widely known as some, but their legacy echoes through time as a powerful testament to the strength found in faith, friendship, and the ultimate price paid for belief. In this audiobook, we will journey through their lives, the turbulent times they lived in, and the courage that sealed their place among the saints. Prepare to be inspired by a tale of bravery and faith that reminds us how the smallest acts of courage can leave the greatest impact, illuminating the path for generations to come. Chapter 1. Lives in a Time of Turmoil. Rome, the Eternal City, was a place of dazzling power and deep shadows in the early centuries of the Christian era. It was a sprawling empire at its peak, yet beneath its marble grandeur and bustling streets lurked a dangerous reality for those who followed the new faith of Christ. The Via Ostiense, a vital road connecting the heart of Rome to its bustling port of Ostia, witnessed countless stories, some of triumph, others of tragedy. Among these stories are those of Saints Felix and Adauto, men whose lives were woven into the fabric of this turbulent age. The world they lived in was harsh and unforgiving. Christianity was seen not merely as a religion, but as a rebellion against the traditions and gods of Rome. Pagan temples dominated the cityscape, and the emperor demanded loyalty through public worship and sacrifice. To refuse was to invite suspicion, persecution, and sometimes death. Felix was a priest, a shepherd to his scattered and fearful flock. Despite the constant threat of arrest, he carried out his duties with unwavering dedication. He visited secret gatherings where believers met in hidden catacombs and private homes, risking everything to share the teachings of Christ. His voice was a source of comfort and hope, reminding the faithful that their suffering was temporary and that a glorious reward awaited them beyond this life. Adauto, his devoted companion, was a fellow Christian who stood by Felix in all things. Together, they braved the dangers of their world, offering support and encouragement to those isolated by fear and oppression. Their friendship was a testament to the power of faith and solidarity. Daily life for these early Christians was a constant struggle. Food was scarce, and persecution was never far away. Yet, despite these hardships, Felix and Adauto found joy in their mission. They taught forgiveness to those who sought it, tended to the sick, and brought the message of peace to troubled souls. Their compassion knew no bounds, and their courage inspired many to remain steadfast in their faith. This chapter reveals a world where faith was not a quiet private matter, but a bold act of defiance. Felix and Adauto's lives show us the courage it took to believe in a brighter future, even when the present was filled with danger and uncertainty. Their example invites us to reflect on our own convictions and the strength we draw from them in times of trial. Chapter 2. The Road to Martyrdom. The path along the Via Ostiense was no ordinary road. It was a silent witness to courage and sacrifice. Saints Felix and Adauto knew well the dangers hidden beneath its stones. In an empire that demanded absolute loyalty to pagan gods and the emperor himself, their Christian faith was a bold rebellion, a light that threatened to burn away the shadows of fear and oppression. Felix was more than a priest. He was a symbol of hope for those whose lives were shattered by persecution. Despite the constant threat of arrest and torture, he moved quietly among the believers, administering sacraments in secret, baptizing new converts, and offering words of comfort to those weakened by despair. In the dim glow of hidden chambers, his voice became a beacon of strength, urging the faithful to stand firm in their beliefs. Adauto was by his side through every trial, a steadfast companion and brother in faith. Together, they tended to the sick, shared in the burdens of their community, and maintained the fragile spirit of hope. Their partnership was forged in faith and tested by fire. each drawing strength from the other as they faced an increasingly hostile world. But the Roman authorities were relentless. Betrayal from within their own community led to their capture. Arrested and thrown into the shadows of prison cells, Felix and Adauto endured cruel interrogations. The magistrates demanded that they renounce their faith, offering safety in exchange for betrayal. But their hearts were unyielding. They refused to deny their beliefs or abandon their flock. Torture was inflicted upon them, designed to break their bodies and shatter their spirits. Yet, amidst the pain, their faith only deepened. They became living testimonies to the power of steadfast devotion. Their courage in the face of suffering inspired many, sowing seeds of hope that would blossom long after their deaths. The impact of their faith extended beyond their immediate circle. Families, once fearful and secretive, found courage to live openly in their beliefs. Communities grew stronger, bonded by the example of these two men who refused to abandon their mission. The whispers of their bravery spread through Rome, becoming stories told in secret gatherings, lighting the hearts of those in despair. Their journey toward martyrdom reminds us that true courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. They chose love over hatred, faith over fear, and in doing so, left a legacy of bravery that continues to inspire. Through their sacrifice, Saints Felix and Adauto show us that even in the darkest moments, light can prevail. Chapter 3: Eternal Witnesses. Though Saints Felix and Adauto's earthly lives were tragically short, their impact has echoed through the centuries, inspiring countless believers with their unwavering faith and courage. Their martyrdom on the Via Ostiense became not an end, but a powerful beginning, a spark that ignited the hearts of early Christians and continues to shine brightly today. Soon after their sacrifice, the faithful began to honor them as eternal witnesses to the power of faith. The place where they gave their lives became sacred ground, a pilgrimage destination where believers came to remember their courage and seek strength in times of trial. Shrines were built, and stories of their bravery were passed down from generation to generation, ensuring their legacy would never fade. Their story is a vivid reminder that holiness often grows in the soil of suffering. Felix and Adauto's choice to embrace death rather than renounce their faith shows us that true greatness lies in standing firm for what we believe, no matter the cost. Their lives challenge us to live boldly and love deeply, even when faced with opposition or hardship. But their influence goes beyond the tales and monuments. Throughout history, many Christians have found inspiration in their example, from persecuted communities in distant lands to individuals facing their own personal struggles. Their steadfastness serves as a beacon, encouraging believers to hold fast to hope, even when the world seems dark and unforgiving. Their legacy also reminds us of the power of friendship and solidarity. Felix and Adauto faced their trials not alone, but side by side, supporting one another with faith and courage. This companionship is a powerful example of how unity can strengthen us in our darkest hours. Today, as we reflect on their lives, we are called to ask ourselves, how can we embody such courage and love in our own journeys? What sacrifices are we willing to make for the sake of our deepest convictions? Saints Felix and Adauto's story invites us to find strength in faith, hope in suffering, and joy in the promise of eternal life. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the inspiring lives of Saints Felix and Adauto. We deeply appreciate your support and invite you to continue exploring the stories of courage and faith with us. Please remember to subscribe and share to help keep their legacy alive.